As part of the Australian Defence Force's transformation and optimisation for littoral manoeuvre operations and deployment by sea, land and air from Australia, the Navy needed to improve its ability to maintain more ships at sea and farther away from Australia than is currently possible. It also needed to be able to deliver more supplies and follow-on forces to forward-deployed ground troops. As a result, a project was created to deliver 2 multi-purpose auxiliary vessels with roll-on roll-off capabilities and a well dock to transport cargo, be able to conduct replenishment at sea of other ships, and to conduct humanitarian assistance and disaster response missions, and to conduct these operations in areas with limited or no infrastructure. These new Navy ships, together with the existing landing helicopter docks, would be supported in the amphibious role by the new Army littoral lift groups, comprised of new landing craft delivered under a separate project. This Navy project for Joint Support Ships, C-2200, was cancelled in 2024, but the requirement remains. G'day and salutations. Today's briefing: Australia needs this ship, the Joint Support Ship, a capability analysis. This briefing will examine how this ship's capabilities are consistent with Australia's National Defence Strategy and how this ship would fit into the ADF's force structure. Shout out to members and thank you to all who have subscribed. Please hit the bell icon to be notified when I post a new briefing. The Navy's primary means of transporting troops and supplies ashore during the initial phases of operations is by the 2 Canberra-class landing helicopter docks, LHDs. At 27,500 tonnes, HMA ships Canberra and Adelaide are each capable of carrying around 1,000 troops, 18 helicopters and 4 smaller landing craft. After the initial elements of the Army's combat brigades and supporting forces have landed ashore, they will need delivery of significant logistic support and follow-on troops. Supporting the LHDs and providing this additional logistic and follow-on force support is HMAS Charles, a landing ship dock, LSD. Displacing around 16,000 tonnes, it's capable of carrying up to 700 troops in an overloaded state, 32 Abrams tanks or equivalent, 2 small landing craft, and can operate helicopters up to CH-47F Chinook size. This is one of the capabilities that Project C-2200 was to replace. There are 3 key ways for the proposed Joint Support Ships, the JSS, to provide logistic support to the shore. One is by way of landing craft, where the JSS's own landing craft would operate from within the ship's well dock. Another is by way of a crane for unloading stores onto its own or other landing craft not part of the JSS, and when alongside at port facilities. A third way is by utilising helicopters for vertical resupply of lighter loads, including personnel. It would be important that the JSS be able to operate the CH-47F Chinook from its deck, but not necessarily to be able to hangar it. As part of its broader logistics and support capability, the Royal Australian Navy also operates 2 underway replenishment ships, AORs, HMA ships Supply and Stalwart. At 19,500 tonnes, they can transfer around 9,000 tonnes of supplies. Replenishment at Sea, or RAS, is another capability that Project C-2200 was to deliver to augment the capabilities of the Supply class AORs, with resupply of fuel and some dry stores being the most important. Note the 2 Canberra-class LHDs can provide a limited RAS capability. Although Project C-2200 will not at this stage proceed, there were at least 3 likely candidates. One is the Elida offered by UK's BMT, with a floatable well dock for landing craft, able to accommodate 2 Seahawk-sized helicopters, TEU containers on the deck, and with RAS facilities. It offers the capabilities outlined in the original project. Another potential candidate is from the Spanish firm Navantia, with an evolution of the Galicia landing pad dock, LPD. And finally, from the Dutch firm Damen, offering the logistics support ship. Note, although this image shows only 1 helicopter and no well dock, this would change if it was offered to compete in a future C-2200 project. So the Navy's ship-delivered logistics and follow-on forces capability could be as follows. 2 underway replenishment ships, which providing RAS but no ability to provide logistics over the shore. 2 LHDs which provide logistics over the shore but with limited RAS capability, HMS Charles landing ship dock to be retired and replaced by 2 joint support ships with the ability to provide logistics over the shore and more substantial RAS capabilities than the LHDs. In summary, the cancellation of the Joint Support Ship project leaves the RAN and the broader ADF with a reduced capability for vital logistics and sea lift functions. With a growing Navy surface fleet, more replenishment at sea capability is needed. With 3 Army combat brigades that are designed to be forward deployed by sea and air within Australia's primary area of defence interest, more naval logistics support is needed. Specifically, the full spectrum of logistics support is required, including being able to deliver supplies and follow-on forces by landing craft, helicopters and via port facilities, as well as replenishment of other ships at sea. Additional auxiliary ships that are able to provide much of the capabilities of the amphibious assault and underway replenishment ships, but on a single hull, are critical components needed for the ADF to achieve its objectives, as well as providing redundancy. It's all well and good to talk about flashy strike or deployment capabilities, but as important is to address how the deployed force will be resupplied and maintained. Remember the famous maxim, amateurs talk tactics, professionals talk logistics. That concludes today's briefing. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and share, and don't forget to click the notification button so you don't miss the next briefing. You never know what it'll be about. Happy to take suggestions for briefings from members. Until next time, Vale de Cero.